Today we're going to talk about my number one secret to getting buyers off the fence and allowing them to trust you, build that relationship, so you make sure that when and if they buy a home, they are going to use you to do so. Hey everybody, Jeremy Kane here with the Realtor Playbook, dropping the game plan to help you succeed in the game of real estate. Just wanted to stop by today and drop one of my very best ninja tricks as to getting buyers off the fence and to help secure that relationship as you move forward. So today we're going to talk about my scouting trip. Realtors all over will tell you, don't put people in your car if they aren't pre-approved. Don't put people in the car if they're not ready to buy. Your time is valuable. I will absolutely tell you that that's absolutely true. Your time is valuable, but this trick has helped me get buyers off the fence, build that relationship and trust so that when and if they are ready to buy a home, they will use you, or in the meantime, if somebody else comes across their sphere and is looking for a realtor, they will refer you. So what I do is I talk to buyers, I get a laundry list of things that they're looking at, want to appeal to that emotion, because a lot of realtors start out the process by saying, okay, here's the deal. Once you talk to this lender, then I'll give you my time, then we can talk about what kind of home you want to buy, and then we can get you out for showings. Here's the problem with that. The number one fun, emotional side of our job is showing people homes. People love to look at homes with the reality TV shows out there. People just love everything about getting into a home, looking at it, envisioning their future in that home or what they could do to fix it up, so on. So it is my perspective to say, okay, get an idea of what they're looking for, get an idea of their price point, and take 3 to 4 hours on one day and say, okay, we're gonna go through all these neighborhoods, we're gonna see one house per neighborhood, we're gonna bring all the decision makers, whether that's a spouse or whether that be somebody that's a sibling or somebody who is going to be a major decision maker in the process. Let's get everybody out, let's start getting them into homes and allow them to sort things out, develop a list of must-haves and nice-to-haves and absolutely non-negotiables. And this is a great way to do so. So what I do is I say, okay, let's look at an area of town you're interested in. I show maybe 4, 5, 6 properties to them. And the whole point of this is not to get them under contract on a house, not to write any offers, but allow the major decision makers to kind of duke it out, basically. I literally say, hey, whoever's involved, you can throw things at each other, you can argue. I'm gonna try and be quiet. I'm gonna take notes so that I know exactly what you're looking for in a house. And by doing that, they know that I'm interested in their needs and what they want. And this will eventually allow me to eliminate some of those listings that come through on a Friday that look so great. And I say, oh, well, that one doesn't have a 2-car garage. That was a major point of contention. Are we still on the 2-car garage thing? They're like, oh, I didn't even realize that. Let's not go look at that, saving you time on the back end. The next thing I do during this meeting is explain the process, build a relationship, explain what I've seen in the past and how the process works. This allows me to explain the process once in person with that emotional connection again, and allow them to understand what's ahead. If it's a crazy seller's market like it is right now, I'm gonna explain that the bidding process may be pretty intense and this is kind of what's going on. Taking it as far to say, okay, that's your favorite house, it's probably someone else's favorite house. I'm gonna call the listing agent and get information, just so you kind of are aware of what the climate is around this process and what's going on. So say they love a house, I'm gonna call and say, hey, how's it going? Ask the listing agent how many showings they've had, if they've had any other offers, and kind of what their deadlines are. Then I take this back to my client and I say, hey, that house that you loved, yeah, it had 50 offers and it went for $50,000 over asking price. This eliminates the vision of, oh, we're gonna be able to get that house for $400,000 if maybe it was priced a little bit low intentionally to get a bidding war. Then they know this. So just educating the entire process as we go, market specific. This also will eliminate some neighborhoods. Pay attention to the drive-in, pay attention to what they're saying outside of the home. I take a second and kind of do a 360 view of what's going on and say, okay, looks like, you got a mechanic over here, looks like you have somebody who really takes care of the yard over here, whatever that may be, and kind of inspire those conversations so that maybe they have an RV that they need to park in the driveway. Maybe they do work on cars. Maybe they absolutely do not want any of that. And, so then we're kind of guided to an HOA, even though they said before that they're absolutely not interested in HOA, but if they want the clean, covenant controlled areas, that's something that you need to understand and be aware of as you move forward, and maybe allow them to consider an HOA, especially in those detached communities that are a little less intrusive, as long as they understand that that's what they're going to get outside of an HOA versus inside. So just kind of figure out what they want, because all buyers come to us with a litany of ideas and things that they think they want, but when they're really laid out and put in front of them in reality, it appeals to their emotions and bam, we're good to go. So definitely it's a time where I just kind of sit back, take notes, allow the confrontation or disagreements to occur, hopefully not throwing things really, but if it happens, it happens. But let's sort that out now instead of when we're in the market, they have to buy a home in the next 3 weeks or whatever because they're moving, their lease is over. And let's sort that out now ahead of time so that we're aware and I can be the best agent I can be for them. So I take them out, we look at neighborhoods, we cross things off, limit what they think and what they see as we go, so that when it's go time, we're looking at 4 houses a day and each of them could be the next closing you have. So after we do that, I definitely like to maybe grab a bite or grab coffee and just sit and talk about my experiences, what I think, the market's going to be when that time comes, whatever that may be, allowing me to give them the chance to understand that I'm an expert and I work hard at my craft to provide for my clients. As well, at that time, I may go through the contract, because in our current climate, you have a showing and then you have, do you want to make an offer? And then it's under contract. So we have to be up to speed and quick when that time comes. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, well, it's such a big decision, I want time to think. That's okay. But if they want a big decision, time to think, and then we need to review the entire contract prior to putting it in and so on, that could be 48, 72 hours as we move forward, and it might be too late to get that home under contract. So we're going to set that expectation that we're going to take care of everything up front besides seeing the house and deciding on if you're going to make an offer, and then we can decide on the minor details of that offer to zero it in and make it a contract, hopefully that the seller is willing to accept. So what I do is I go through the base contract, I talk about the generalities, all the stuff that are normally there, the normal boxes that are checked, whether that be the seller selecting the title company or who's going to pay for the HOA transfer fee and all of that, and develop a template for this exact client so that they understand what's going on. We go through the contract slowly, no pressure, so they can understand, ask questions, so that that's the last time that I have to do that. And then we have the contract. I say, okay, here's your template. We change these things. What do you think? Any questions? And we can move forward, put an offer in, and go to work. So that's exactly what I do on my scouting trips. Now, that's a far cry from not letting someone in your car if they're not fully pre-approved, squeaky clean buyer, because giving that person, especially the one that may not be ready to be approved, the time and energy as their realtor, as their confidant, will absolutely allow them to be your number one raving fan, and you haven't even helped them purchase a home, but they know that you're going to take the due diligence, that you care about what they want, and what are they going to do? They're going to tell their friends, they're going to refer you when things come up. And then once it's time to go, there's not going to be a question of, should I just call this Redfin agent, or should I call this internet, should I click here and get a showing? No, they're going to call the expert because they understand that process, which in the event they're brand new, you might need to explain to them. No matter what, if you want to go see a house after you've been pre-approved, call me, I'll make it happen. I have, teammates and things like that can show you if I'm on my vacation or whatever that may be, and just set that tone so that they use you when the time comes as their buyer's agent. Pretty cool stuff there. Definitely a change in mindset from what I was taught and what I was trained, but give it a try. It's definitely worth it. Those scouting trips have earned me millions of dollars in sold volume because of just a little extra time spent. Not to mention save me time on the back end when we're really out there looking and we got to get under contract. And maybe you have 3 or 4 buyers at the same time. You can say, okay, I got 4 houses with you because I know exactly what you want. And then you are actually eliminating I found my house on the internet, the realtor just showed up and earned a commission check. And that's exactly what I do, is provide value to every single one of my clients as we go. Hope you have a great day. If you haven't already, please subscribe, dropping individual tips and tricks for all realtors to help you build your business how you want to. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.